Ladies, gentlemen, and far more interesting people, my name is Frizz Frizzle. I'm a musical comedian, and today, April the 3rd, marks the 8th anniversary of my first ever solo stand-up comedy gig. There's a lot of caveats in that. I'll explain why. Before venturing into solo stand-up, I used to be in a double act. We'd perform at poetry and performance nights, but not comedy nights. And also, before this, I used to MC or do little comedy songs and stuff, usually at charity nights and stuff, but never at a comedy gig. This gig you're about to watch is upstairs in Bar Loco, which is just around the corner of St James's Park in Newcastle. It was part of a regular comedy night. The organiser had seen me before and thought that I'd be all right with this. Now, I have not seen this clip in a good 7 years. When I uploaded it 8 years ago, since then it's had 271 views in 8 years. So I'm going to be live commentating on it and possibly cringing and being very embarrassed at the inappropriate things that I say. It's going to be fun. The full interrupted gig will be in a link in the description below if you want to check that out. But meanwhile, let's sit down and watch my first ever solo stand-up comedy gig. This is a bad idea. So I've got my headphones on and I am ready to play.
Hello.
I used to be a very drab performer, very Jack D.
My friends call me
Also, my stage name used to be Stephen Frizz Frizzle, but I dropped the first name once random audience members started adding me on Facebook. I did not want that.
Which is ironic because I'm allergic to strawberries and hate the French.
I still do that joke to this day. It's a very good way to gauge the audience to see how offensive I can be.
There's a piano here, so I might as well do a song.
This piano was lent to me by Kate Yossarian, and then I lost it in Leeds.
Since Rihanna left Chris Brown, she's been looking over town.
This parody of We Found Love by Rihanna, I used to reword it to explain stuff that would rhyme with hopeless place. For example, this one is...
And he also sells the big issue, yeah. She asked, please, can I kiss you?
Which of course leads to the punchline.
Love with a homeless mate.
Homeless mate. That rhymes. I wrote about 15 of these, and I used to just perform them sporadically during my gigs at the beginning. Stop doing them now. This is a parody of Wherever We Will Go by The Calling. It's essentially that famous tongue twister, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck chuck wood? I can't even say it. But I basically put it to a song, because that was what I did. That's what I did.
So, yeah, it's been snowing a lot recently in the last 4 hours. Quite funny, because on Sunday I was in a pub garden in my shorts because it was summer. Autumn was this morning and winter appears to be now. Hopefully in this rate by 3 AM it'll be summer again. So let's all go for a suntan at 3 AM.
You're laughing at weather, Lynn. Jesus. To be fair, this was the April in 2012 where the weather was absolutely weird.
Bit of Disney for you.
But yeah, so I just basically did a recap of the weather from the past 24 hours and assumed that was a joke. If you listen back, nobody laughs at it. Why would they? I'm doing a weather recap. Yeah, it's quite sunny at the moment. That isn't funny. Yeah, I used to be a broken jukebox. Like, I'd do songs and then, like, talk about it and then do the rest of the song. Oh, this song is about, The Cube, the famous game show hosted by Philip Schofield. I did that song in a manor estate in Yorkshire, and the 200 audience members had no idea what The Cube was. In the same way, I did a gig in Sunderland once where I did a joke about Nick Clegg, and none of the audience members knew who Nick Clegg was. He was the Deputy Prime Minister at the time of me doing the joke, but... culture differences, eh? Here's another Rihanna parody.
Since Rihanna left Chris Brown, she's been looking over town.
If you listen to the lyrics, you might be able to deduce what the punchline is going to be.
He's the enemy of Dumbledore, yeah. And I think his name is Voldemort. She found love with a noseless face.
Noseless face, everybody. That rhymes with hopeless place, doesn't it? I once got a message from a very good friend of mine, basically yelling at me saying, Dumbledore isn't the enemy of Voldemort. And I was like, okay, the song's already written though. First take a second right, then third on your left, carry on driving there. Is a ramp ahead, I'll get to your point without a hint of complication. At the end of the road you've arrived at your destination. Be-ba-ba-ba-da-bo, ba-ba-ba-da-bree-ba-ba-ba-da-bo. I'm a sat-nav. Sat-nav jokes, everyone, in 2012. This is the first song I ever wrote a sequel for. It was a parody of Take On Me by Aha, and it was about the A13. So 4 months after this, my first ever gig, I did a week-long run at the Edinburgh Fringe. Nobody came. I was very unprepared. I just thought, hey, I'm a new comedian. People are going to come see my show. Nobody came. There was one show I did where 5 people were in the audience, and 3 of them were at the wrong show.
Shall we see if Rihanna's found love yet?
Oh, God, let's not. This is a very rare gig where I don't finish on the Fresh Prince James Blunt mashup. I think this is a new song I wrote. Basically, it's a parody of Edge of Glory by Lady Gaga, and I've rewritten it about waking up in a hedge in Orkney. It's not that good.
I'm in a hedge, a hedge, a hedge, a hedge, a hedge, a hedge, a hedge. I'm in a... Thank you, I've been Stephen Frizz Frizzle.
Oh, all right, little audience, that. All right, little audience. That's me downing something and then having water. Well, that was cringeworthy. If you're watching this on Friday, April the 3rd, by the way, I'm doing a gig tonight, live stream from my room. It's called Songs from the Spare Room. All the details will be below. And that's performed every Friday whilst we're in lockdown. So potentially for the rest of time itself. Keep safe, keep washing your hands. I've been Frizz Frizzle, and I'll see you soon? I don't know. Bye.